Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And the Chiefs look human. They had to go up to the Queen City where they lost to the Bengals 30-27. I think it's fair to say. I think everybody knows this. It was kind of a
27,
question now.
27-24.
Was it? Or,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. You're
Yep.
right. It
Yeah,
was 27-24.
the last two games against the Bengals have been 27-24.
How about that? And I don't even know if it's much of a debate anymore, but I think Skyline Chili's better than Kansas City Barbecue. At this rate, this is the Bengals' third straight win against the Chiefs, and which was a very fun game. I hope these two teams play again down the line. I thought the Bengals defense did a really good job of limiting Kelsey. They did a good job of shutting him down. They were able to force a fumble on the one of the few times he was able to touch the ball. And after that, I think some of the play calling, I think Andy Reid, I felt like got a little bit too cute. I know Grant, you were a little bit frustrated with the play calling as well. And Grant looks like he's just oh no, he's back. What? Okay, I'm good here, but the where they would get a good yards on first down and then they'd throw it two times in a row and refuse to run the ball. I think Mahomes missed a couple of times where he had his eyes downfield where Jerick McKinnon or Pacheco out of the backfield were just kind of just standing there wide open where if he throws it, ducks it down to them and makes the easy play, they extend a couple of drives and who knows, get a field goal, get a touchdown out of it. But he tried to kind of make the big play. It felt like almost felt like he was kind of just pressing, trying to make the big play, trying to redeem himself from last year's AFC Championship. Almost is that kind of what you felt, Grant?
Yeah, it was a little bit, and then also, in a weird way, kind of off the field. This past Wednesday Patrick was on the episode of New Heights with Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey, and it was a fantastic conversation those guys had, and some of the stories Pat shared. So he was kind of on a high this week on Wednesday, and you almost felt like he wanted to have a performance on Sunday where people were talking like, wow, did you see this? Like what he had 2 weeks ago against the Chargers. So he could kind of cap back and say, hey, look at the hell of the week I had. Birth of his first son. That was awesome interviews on Wednesday, and then doing a crazy, Mahomes like performance on Sunday. So I feel like he tried a little too hard. But then another thing that's been pressing this Chiefs team is in these last 2 weeks, they're only like, I want to say 3 of 8 in the red zone drives converting touchdowns. And you're not winning games in the NFL if you're kicking field goals in the red area. And Dylan, what you were talking about, how I was frustrated, it was the first drive of the game. The Bengals go down and they get 7. The Chiefs answer. They're having a nice drive, run pass. They're mixing it in there. A 1st and 10 from, I want to say the 14, and they get, Pacheco gets a 7-yard carry. So it's 2nd and 3 from the 4. No, it was 1st and 10 from the 17. Or where it was, I can't remember. But you have a 2nd and 3 at the 7. 2 straight passes. And you have to go out and you have to kick the field goal. It's like, Andy, just like what you had in the second half of that Chargers game when Pacheco got over 100 yards, and what you did against the Bucs this year when I challenged this Chiefs team and this Chiefs offensive line to go out and be physical and run the ball. Stop being so cute. I get you have Patrick and Travis, and you're one of the more creative red zone offenses in the NFL. But when you're playing the Bengals, stop being cute. When you're playing these playoff teams, when your offensive linemen are moving people and they're built to go forward, like offensive linemen are, just run the ball. Just run the ball. Be a little old school. Be a little boring. You don't need these crazy magician-like plays, and tie it up at 7. And hypothetically speaking, if that would have been the case, even after the Kelsey fumble, it still would have been even after, let's say, Evans' touchdown, it would have been 28-27. Chiefs would have still had the lead. And then also, I said these last couple of weeks are 3 of 8 in the red zone. McCole Hardman has missed the last 2 weeks on IR. And so far this year, McCole has dominated in the red zone with, his jet sweeps. If he's in the backfield and they got man coverage, he's crossing people. So missing McCole these last couple of weeks, I also feel has been big because he's helps this team for the most part of the year have the best red zone offense in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. And when is he scheduled to come back?
So that was his second game. So the first game he'll be eligible to come back will be, I believe, Christmas Eve against Seattle. Because I think he missed the Chargers game, but they designated him for IR, I believe, last week against the Rams.
Okay.
Or no, his first game back will be against Houston. So in 2 weeks, because he missed
week 16.
Yeah, week 16. Yeah, so he missed the Jags game, was placed on IR before the Chargers. So yeah, week 16 against Houston will be the first time, or week 15, whatever week it is when they play Houston. In 2 weeks, that's when he'll be eligible to come back for the first time.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah, the Broncos, which we'll get into, or Chiefs will get into it a little bit here. They are now. It's not going to be the Arrowhead Invitational as of now. There's a lot that still has to play out. The Bills got a tough schedule ahead. Chiefs, for the most part, have a which originally looked like it could have been tough, but one team is not the team they thought they were, and it's not the Bears.
Also, real quick, I want to shout out that Cincinnati Bengals offensive line.
Yes, I have that on my notes. They
played great yesterday. They were running the ball. They were physical. They were moving people. They were getting the defensive line up to Nick Bolton and Willie Gay. They kept Chris Jones away from their quarterback. They didn't do that those 2 times last year. No one else could get a consistent pass rush on Joe. The Bengals offensive line won that game yesterday, and they went out and they paid a lot of money, this year to revamp it, and they did that. So, shout out to the Bengals O-line for playing a great game yesterday, dominating the line of scrimmage, being physical, keeping your quarterback upright, having Samaje Perine come in for Joe Mixon, playing a great game.
And he looked like Joe Mixon. This is the best I've ever seen Samaje Perine looking in the NFL.
Samaje Perine looked like he was playing Kansas in 2014. Yesterday. he played well, and Cincinnati they had that turnover on Travis, the forced fumble, and they made more plays. So yeah, shout out to that Bengals O-line. They played great. And when are we going to put some respect on T. Higgins' name? This is getting a little old right now. Yes, Jamar Chase is an alien, but man, T. Higgins is a stud, and he had a great game yesterday too. So
I'm just gonna say my fantasy team's named after him, so I'm already on the bandwagon. You guys can hop on if you'd like.
I was just shouting out everyone else, myself included. T. Higgins is a ball.
Good old Tea Party.
Good old Tea Party. We need to start putting some respect on him and Jamar as maybe the best 1-2 duo in the NFL.
When's his rookie deal up, Higgins? It's got to be coming up here soon.
I want to say it's this year, actually.
I want to say because he was the year before Burrow, wasn't he?
Yeah, because I think he won that title against Alabama.
Yeah.
So 19, 20, 21, 22. So yeah, it'd be this offseason.
Okay.
So he's going to get paid by somebody.
Ooh, man, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm doing everything I can to keep that young man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's a lot of money on 2 receivers, though.
I know, but man, they proved me wrong. I know they lost to the Super Bowl last year, but they're just a dynamic duo. And that Cincinnati offense is so complete. But you got to pay Burrow too. And I don't know if Sam Hubbard got his deal. I mean, I'm glad I'm not a cap guy in the NFL because it would keep you up.
Well, and Mike Brown's known to spend a lot of money on players. So, I mean, I don't think there's a lot to worry about.
That is true. I mean, he's like the Yankees version of owners in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just throws cash out to his players.
Well, and there's a reason why they renamed the stadium this year is because I think we're kind of being facetious with Mike Brown here, but the fact that he's changing the name from his father's name to, I don't even know the name of it now, but
Was it like Paycor?
it's something like that. But that's saying that's an investment, realizing like if we want to have sustained success, we're gonna have to pay them, and that's part of it is that naming rights. Those aren't cheap.